Hey everyone, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. It's Tuesday, May 30th. Hope you're doing awesome out there today. And in this video, we're going to be discussing, by popular request, Cannara Biotech. Stock ticker symbol is LOVE. Getting a lot of questions about this one, and rightly so. There's been a lot of volatility. So we'll bring up the chart. I'll do some technical analysis. Like I said, I'll give my thoughts and opinions on what we can expect in the days and weeks ahead. Before we get through it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're new, you can subscribe. Take the bell to be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As I mentioned, we'll bring up the chart. There is a couple of patterns I want to share with you. There's a weekly EMA bull cross that's lining up, and then also another major bullish signal and indicator that we can potentially expect to occur over the next several weeks, maybe a couple of months. But I did do a video not too long ago on a major warning sign, which I'll talk about here in a second. But before we get to that and the chart, I just want to say thank you very much, first and foremost, to the community, getting close to 500,000 views on the channel, which is no easy feat. And like I said, just really appreciate all the support along the way. And also going to be reaching out to Nicholas, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer at Cannara. I've already done a couple of interviews with Nick, and then I've already spoken to him, and we were going to line something up for after the reverse split, which obviously has occurred. There's also been some news with regards to, there was the share purchase plan, and then also some insiders that were purchasing. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet, short as possible, but we'll save some of those questions for Nick whenever he does come on in the future here on the third interview. Like I said, he's no stranger to the show, but I'll be doing a third interview with him at some point soon, so you can have the notification bell turned on and you'll be notified. I'll also be sending out a couple of blasts just with a heads up for that. But like I said, you can expect that more than likely over the next month or so. But here was the video that I posted November 26, 2021. There was a major warning sign flashing on Cannara, and that was a death cross, which if we bring up the chart here, you can see here it was back here after those highs, right? And a lot of MJ entered their bear market right around that February 2021 highs. That's when a lot of stocks were hitting new all-time highs or 52-week highs. And then we had that death cross with the 50-day above the 200-day moving average. And again, technical analysis isn't the end-all be-all, right? This is just looking at what has happened in the past, different indicators. The more indicators that say a certain thing, so if there's 3 or 4 indicators or patterns that are saying we're going up from here, right, if we're at 50 cents, and there's 3 or 4 indicators saying that, you know, with all these different reasonings that we're heading to $1, and there's all this confluence pointing to the fact that we could go to $1, well, then we start to believe it more, right? We put more odds behind that probability playing out. Whereas, you know, if we're at $1 and there's 5 or 6 indicators saying that we could potentially go as low as 50 cents, then we put a little bit more emphasis on the downside, right? So now we're seeing the opposite occur, where the 50-day is below the 200-day moving average, and we could see a golden cross, which would be a massive bull signal and just a complete turnaround. And, you know, we should see some buying pressure pick up. And again, this could take multiple months for it to play out. Again, technical analysis doesn't mean it will happen. It just, the odds are in our favor that it looks like over the next few months, we could see some sustained upside and some momentum shifting to the bulls, right? So if we look back, the last time we had a golden cross, it was back here in January of 2021. And then the price went from about about $1, factoring in post-split, of course, up to around $1.86. And then we had the death cross with the 50 above the 200, comes down, it crosses, the price was at around $1.33, and then we went as low as about 60 cents. Now we're starting to see that opposite pattern occur, right? That indicator with the 50 below the 200 and a golden cross lining up. So again, how long did it take from the last golden cross for the price to really start to gain some momentum to the upside? It was in February 2021, right? Which I mentioned, right around there. January, February, some stocks were different, right? The sector doesn't move down to the second, to the minute, the day, verbatim, right? Stocks generally in the sector follow each other, you know, on a yearly basis, or like I said, not down to the second, the day, the minute, but generally, you know, from a general overview and a long-term overview, they usually follow each other. So like I said, some names were hitting their tops in January, February, but as you can see, it took, like I said, when the golden cross occurred, that was around the end of January, and then the price finally peaked over here in July. So we were bouncing around, but it took many months for that to play out, right? And even from the low here, we started to see that golden cross line up. So from the low there at around 75 cents, we went all the way up to $1.86. And this time around, we've been a lot more beaten down in the sector. So I would assume that we would have a lot more upside this time around. And again, we need monthly uptrend monthly uptrends to confirm across the sector as well to be confident that the bottom is in. But we know that safe banking is currently going through Congress, which would be massive for the space. Obviously not so much for the Canadian names, but it would provide a lot of hype in the sector, which would be good for all MJ stocks. We also have the potential for rescheduling or descheduling with HHS's review here in the US. So we'll see what they come back with and whether or not medical gets legalized. We know that the Canadian government is currently reviewing the MJ Act here in Canada, all things like packaging, labeling, and also taxation, which is a big thing. We know that there's hundreds of millions of dollars in federal excise taxes that a lot of LPs here, licensed producers in Canada, have not paid yet. And it's been said that 30 to 40% of their revenue and their bottom line is going towards federal excise taxes. So just imagine if they were able to change that so that they were able to retain more of that profit, right, and that revenue, and help their bottom line. So like I said, it can take many months for this to happen, and the more names that start to have golden crosses, the better. We'll be more confident in that. But if we take a look here, I want to show you the weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So we haven't seen a bull cross ever since the top and the highs there in, looks like it was June into July. Then we started to turn the other way. We had a bear cross of the 12 above the 26. We were just starting to identify the 26 exponential moving average because of the lack of trading history. But you can see here it came down, it crossed bearish. When the shorter term is above the longer term and they cross, that's a bear cross. Now you can see the shorter term is below the longer term exponential moving average, that in this case the 12 and 26 period. And when they cross with the shorter term below the longer term, that's called a bull cross. We got very close here, but it never actually occurred. And now it looks like we're seeing one more capitulative move lower to shake people out. And then here we are seeing a potential cross of these EMAs. Hasn't happened yet, but it could happen over the next few weeks. But keep in mind, we have no support down to 75 cents here on the weekly time frame. So don't be surprised if we do pull back from here, another 15 to 20% and seek a weekly higher low, because we do have no support from current levels. We could drop 28, a little over 28% and still be just looking for a weekly higher low. And then on the daily time frame, we are very, very overbought here. So we're starting to see a bit of a reversal here on the daily as well. More than likely, a daily inside bar will be set up for tomorrow and trading within today's range, because we have a range all the way up to about $1.12 down to 95 cents. So we got a 15% range. So more than likely going to see an inside bar, but just be very cautious because we are overbought. The RSI is sitting at 79.63. Anything over 70 is considered overbought, and generally not a time where you want to enter, right? But obviously not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'll never tell you what to do. I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just saying if you're looking for entries, you might get a better opportunity to load cheaper and wait for things to cool down a little bit. You generally don't want to go chasing all these massive gains in such a short period of time. But just look at how much upside we had over the last month or so off of the local low there. It's up almost 50%. So again, could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross here on the weekly EMAs, which again hasn't happened since the last time we hit the highs here back in July 2021. So we're going on, how many days has that been now since we've had a cross? It's been 693 days since we've seen a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So when this does occur, I would expect a lot of upside. Couple that with the fact that we have a potential golden cross lining up over the next few months. It's looking really good. Like we could see a massive rally in MJ into the end of the year here. And then on the 10-week moving average as well, we're well above that. And then the stochastic and the MACD here on the weekly time frame starting to go parabolic. So it's looking very, very good at the moment for Cannara Biotech traders and investors, especially if you're on the long end. But going to end it there, let me know what you think in the comments below. As a reminder, I'll be interviewing the CFO, Nicholas Soziak, at some point soon, hopefully in the next few weeks. So if you do have any questions or concerns for Nicholas, anything you want me to bring up in that interview, please let me know in the comments below. Going to end it there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Share the video with anybody that might find value. Like the video as well. I would appreciate it if you think I earned it today, and we'll see you again on the next video. Take care.